Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Today's topic is on marriage matching tool. We already had a marriage matching tool some time back, and that was based upon kutas, that was based upon the dosha matches, the anyonya, and the dasa period overlaps. And mainly we focused upon the best bet methodology. And normally it works fairly well. If it is more than 50%, the match seems to do well. And I passed it through multiple people who have already got married, who have led nice lives of marriage. And when I check that, generally more than 50% are all good, and less than 50% are low values like 35% do give problems. But then there were some cases, even with more than 50%, they have had problems. So, of course, lesser than 50%, definitely all my cases were really into troubles. So, I was wanting to know if there is another tool, say, based upon Ashtakavarga. And our Prasad ji nicely shared his readings from Sri Vinay Aditya's Ashtakavarga book. I said the dots of destiny, the Ashtakavarga scores, can be a very powerful methodology for marriage matching. So why don't you do that? He asked. That way this Excel emerged. I'll walk you through a small video on the concept of Vinay Aditya's concept of this particular aspect. Let me play that video to give you an idea. Captured the essence of what is in store for today's Excel. So I will walk you through both the Excels that we had before. This is the Excel that we have been using so far in our previous videos, where we take the person's name here and the another name of the girl here, and we check the doshas if they are mismatched, quotas and all that. This turns out to be fairly all right. Say with 37%, it's a very low score. So that way we reject or accept. And as I said, this is not the only tool that is enough. We need one more tool so that we can confidently match horoscopes for marriage. So that way, this time, I have started with one tool here, which we call it Ashtakavarga based marital felicity. Okay. So the concept here is this book, particular book on practical Ashtakavarga. If you check page 182 of that by Sri Vinay Aditya's practical Ashtakavarga, he gives nice points as checkpoints. So the one individual, if you take his chart or her chart, check the 7th Rasi from multiple references in the Rasi chart. Similarly, check the 7th Rasi from multiple references in the Navamsha chart. Check the 7th from multiple references again in the Bhinnashtakavarga of Venus, in the D1 chart, of the D9 chart. Similarly, the Bhinnashtakavarga of the 7th Lord from multiple references in D1 and D9. So if these scores, if you are checking the Sarvashtakavarga scores, it has to be at least minimum 28 is what we see, but people normally get low scores. So we have said that less than 23 is really a dangerous zone. So we have marked them as red as per the book suggestion itself. Similarly, this will be a Ashtakavarga. So anything numbers like 30, 20s and all that will lie there. And when you try Ashtakavarga, maximum score is 8, of which 4 is an average, and less than 4, anything less than 4 is marked red here, automatically by custom formatting. So that way you have all these scores here. And the point number 5 is the Lagna Lord, 7th Lord relationship, relative position. Even in a single chart, you take your own chart. If you see where the Lagna Lord is and where the 7th Lord is, mutually how they are posed between themselves. If it is 12-2 or 6-8, these things are troublesome. Whereas the other things like, see, you'll have multiple, I'll show them how these relative scores, for instance, some people have it as 6-8, some people have it as 11-3, 5-9. So multiple people have it as 10-4. So the red ones are 6-8 normally is very bad, 12-2 is bad, 1-1 is very good, 7-7 is very, very good, 2-12 is not that great. I mean, this way you can mark them. So this is one aspect. And another aspect that comes out very strongly is the bindus discrepancy between the first house and the 7th house. So if a person has 31 here, this person has 31 score in the first house and 7th house has only 26. The difference is about 7. Okay, here it is about 5, exactly 5. And if it is anything more than 7, the book says it is, some people have it as 19, 20 also. So it's more the difference, they are not, the matrimony problems are more for such people. Okay, this is one aspect. I left out this. This is the Lagna Lord Bindus in its Ashtakavarga and Ashtakavarga. So this also has to be added. Similarly, the 7th Lord Bindus in its Ashtakavarga and Ashtakavarga. This. So altogether, if you see here, I am collecting all these scores which are red. So if more the red, here 14 is red, and I am getting a percentage of totally it is 52 cells that are colored here. So how many are red is the percentage that I show here. So these are the 6 points that he wants us to check. And the 7th point is cross check between the individual as well as the spouse. Suppose you, of course, he again checks only one chart here, not 2 charts. Only the male chart or the female chart. And for the male, suppose you are interested in your boy's marriage, then which are the signs that would be best for the girl? Here what he says is pull out to the moon's Ashtakavarga, the maximum score in moon's Ashtakavarga. If the girl has, for instance, in this case, Gemini has a maximum score, both in Ashtakavarga, but Ashtakavarga it goes to very low values. Virgo has the maximum score here, and Ashtakavarga has a score of 37. So both Virgo satisfies a high value both in moon's BAV and SAV. So that way, if you choose a girl, if it were a boy and he chooses a girl with a Virgo as her moon sign, then that would be excellent for the match. And similarly, we can also pull out Venus Ashtakavarga, Lagna Lord's Ashtakavarga, D9 Venus Ashtakavarga, D9 Lagna Lord Ashtakavarga, and I have added, if you see here, I have added all these to give us a view of what is the total score. And so we can see even here Virgo seems to turn out to be the best for the person. So this gives you an idea of which spouse you want to look for. And it should be the moon sign of the girl or the moon sign of the spouse that you would prefer with the highest value. So here one can pull different, I have given different row numbers here for the people that you want to choose. So you pull out multiple people here, then it will automatically calculate everything. It will automatically reshift all these colors. So this is major aspect of, and I have so many data now. I have 729 data in the DOB sheet. I iterate through them and pull out for multiple people how the scores are and get a view of, I know about their life, how their lives have been. and I know if it is working or not. In fact, it works very nicely. So we see that more rates are there for people with marital problems. So that is very clear. In fact, some charts are, I'll walk you through some specific charts so that you will get an idea of how it turns out to be. Okay, let me pull out one specific example. I think case number 42 is something. Okay, 42, not 425, sorry. It is 42. Okay, this is a lady, relative of mine. She married once, there was a divorce. She married again, there was again a divorce. So if you see her Navamsa 7th Rasi, it has a very low score of 17. And you have 33% red scores. So I don't know actually the Rasi signs of her husbands that she had, but preferably she should have married people with Leo sign. But now it's a third time they don't want to give a try. She is young, I mean not very old, but unfortunately her life is turned out to be a single lady that she continues now with the multiple divorces. So this is, you see how many reds are there. So if there is going to be no child, then we have to see not only the D7, we have to see the Saptamsas also and the fifth sign. So here we are talking about multiple references, but the references are slightly different. It is Lagna, Moon, Sun and Jupiter, but here it is Putra Karaka and Karakamsa as here. Putra Karaka is seen here. Aruda Lagna and A5 are seen here, the Aruda Pada of the fifth house. How many reds are there? And she does not have a child also. So in a way, okay, but yeah, unfortunate. So these low values, the number of reds is a clear indication of the problems again. This is one sign, and in another book of Vinayji, he says the Rasi of the Dara Karaka, if it happens to be the watery signs and it becomes on specific degrees, it becomes what are called Sarpadrekanas. And if it is Sarpadrekana, then especially if it is Scorpio, then the problem with the spouse is very troublesome. So that is one aspect that is also checked here, Sarpadrekana. And if Rahu of one chart, the one spouse chart, the bride's chart, say, it is falling in some sign, and in the same sign of the other person, the groom's chart, if there are some planets, then that is welcome. So this is a point that he says. This is just a point as a added point here, and then nothing to be checked here. We can use this as a input to choose your spouse. So one more case study I will take, 479. This again is a known person to me, a relative of mine. She again had a very troublesome marriage. But if you see here, so many greens, so it looks very good on the front side. And here the Bindu discrepancy is also not much. And we expect things to be smooth. I don't know the Rasi of the person she married to. She should have preferred Leo, but I don't think she married a Leo. I think she married a Scorpio gentleman. Scorpio seems to be okay, not that bad. But then, as I said, the Sarpadrekana was exactly also Scorpio. So Sarpadrekana can be in any of the three water signs, but if it happens to be in Scorpio, it becomes really troublesome from the spouse. And she did face this immense trouble from, she of course has a child, and you see a lot of greens there, not a bad, she has a girl. So, but the Sarpadrekana gave her the trouble. So this is one indication. Maybe I will take you through another close person of mine who, I mean, these numbers, when you check in the other file, they might matrimony matcher based upon kutas and all that. They do give good values. But then when you come here, Ashtakavarga clearly says that it could be a troublesome marriage. If you see this person, he is also very close to me. He has very many low scores even from Lagna. So everything red there. and I don't know who he married to, but he could have married a Cancer or a Leo person. Then you would have, maybe especially Leo, because this score is also high. He would have done well, but he also faced a divorce. He has a daughter, but then he faced a divorce. And one major point coming through for his chart was the Bindu discrepancy between the 7th house and the Lagna. That was too huge. Anything more than 7, they say, is troublesome. This is 19. 38 is Lagna, whereas 19 is the 7th house. So such a discrepancy, the marital life, he is living alone at maybe more than 50 now. So life has been miserable that way for a marital bliss. And of course, he also has a child, but if you see a lot of red there, because he does not have a felicity with the child. So these aspects are all for D7, D9 and D1, just for the progeny part of it, because we are checking Putra Karaka. Whereas in this part, we are checking here the Aruda Lagna, Upada Lagna and Dhara Karaka. So this is all for the spouse side, that is for the child. You can get an indication. So this iterate button is to pass through all the data bank values. I got all the values, and we can I was able to really get people with more scores, maybe filtered by color, because all these are more than 50, and I know these people have all suffered. So there could be so this is a useful tool. So for matching, what you do is use the other tool and then get a score more than 50, and then come back to here and then see, ensure that you do not get into a spouse with a lot of red points, and you see to it that you choose the right person with the more values for the bindus in the moon chart and rest of the charts as well. So hopefully go through this, download this Excel. Of course, I have verified it. The Ashtakavarga, there are multiple sheets here. So if you unhide, there will be a AV1, which is the Ashtakavarga of D1. This is the Ashtakavarga of D9. There is also Ashtakavarga of D7. So this hidden, because you don't have to do anything here. You don't have to see them at all. And I have used, if you are comparing it with Jagannatha Vora, what you will have to do is, see, one thing is the preferences are for Ashtakavarga, as I said, the Excel uses the Varahamira approach, where you have to unclick all this. So that is one aspect that you have to be clear about. And I use the, if it is the position of the nodes, I use the mean nodes there. So that would be coming under planet calculation options. I take the mean nodes. So you can compare it with these charts. I use the normal Navamsa of Parashara definition and the normal Saptamsa of traditional Saptamsha in the Excel file. So this you can compare and see if this turn out to be correct, and hopefully give us feedback of how you are going to use this, what more we can add, because I have to thank Prasadji, who was the initiator for this study, and also he suggested improvements like adding this part of it. So very good prompt from him and help from him. And we have not pulled it for, all these are personal data of mine. So I have done the names of the people. So I'll share this file, download, and give us feedback. Thank you.